No answer. A very good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of the School of Human Settlements, I, Pratyusha Krishnaswamy, welcome you all to Innovations 24. To begin with the inaugural, I request our esteemed dignitaries to kindly take the dais. Yes, ma'am. Dr. Dr. Kachi Mishra, Dean School of Human Settlements, Dr. Tiali Bose, Faculty Coordinator HabituX, Professor Sai Kiran, Faculty Coordinator HabituX, and Professor Shraddha Kumar, Faculty Coordinator HabituX. I kindly request the dignitaries to kindly grace the dais. Thank you. We live in cities, but do we actually know how a city is managed? The urban domain is vast. It involves activities related to cities and urban areas. It includes urban planning, architecture, infrastructure, transportation, housing, social services, and most importantly, governance. Professionals in this field focus on creating sustainable, livable, and accessible urban spaces while addressing challenges such as population growth, environmental sustainability, social inequality, and technological advancements. Their goal is to improve urban environments, making them more livable and sustainable to enhance the citizens' quality of life. This is where the concept of urban management comes into play. A bit about our school. Launched in 2016, our School of Human Settlements, or SHS as it is popularly known, is one of its kind. It offers students the opportunity to explore and understand the planning and management aspects of sustainable urbanization and develop the knowledge and skills to meet the complex challenges involved. Our innovative program, the MBA in Urban Management and Governance, is the first of its kind and still continues to be unique. It is specially designed to respond to the growing professional needs of the urban development sector. We also have a cutting edge master's in urban and regional planning program, which was beyond the typical master planning approaches. The school also has a sizable PhD program with PhD in both urban management and planning. Both programs have been very well received by industry. We are proud that our alumni are now contributing excellently in all major consulting firms, government programs, missions and SPVs, think tanks, and research organizations. At the School of Human Settlements, we believe that learning, creativity, and cohesiveness go hand in hand. Thus, HabituX, the student body of SHS, presents to you Innovations, the Urban Ideas Fest. The fest is a platform to bring together all the young, innovative thinkers and new minds for brainstorming ideas on how we can make our cities livable and sustainable. Innovations includes events that range from nerve-wracking competitions like Mayor's Discourse, Dream City, and Quizzite, to fun-filled events like Shutterbug, Face It On, and Rhythm. We welcome you all to participate in these exciting competitions. So let us start off the event on an auspicious note by lighting the lamp of thought. I now request Dr. Kajri Mishra, Dean School of Human Settlements, Dr. Tiali Bose, Faculty Coordinator HabituX, Professor Sai Kiran, Faculty Coordinator HabituX, Professor Shraddha Kumar, Faculty Coordinator HabituX, and Sarita Rutroy, who is the Coordinator of HabituX, to kindly proceed to light the lamp.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते दीपं ब्रह्मरूपस्थं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः दीपं ब्रह्मरूपस्थं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश पतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत् यस्य दृष्टे गृहे दीपम् तस्य नास्ति दरिद्रता शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु.
Now, I kindly request Dr. Kachi Mishra, Dean School of Human Settlements, to declare Innovations 24 open and share a few words with us. Over to you, ma'am.
All right. So, good morning, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to the School of Human Settlements of XIM University. I'm so happy so many of you were interested in the event that we are doing, Unnovations. The HabituX, which is the Association of the School Students, the Association of the Students of the School of Human Settlements, has organized this event as a extension activity to as an event that will reach out across colleges, across students, across the youth, particularly those who are at the threshold of starting on their careers, to think about the most urgent and pressing problem that the world is currently facing. I'm sure you're all aware of what it is. Yes? No? What do you think is the current most pressing problem that all of you will face when you go out into the world? Apart from earning a livelihood. You all want careers, but nobody knows? You haven't heard of climate change? Adaptability issues. How do we learn to adapt to what is happening in the world? The way the climate is changing? Anything else? No? Cultures like? So we are facing a lot of migration, and why is that? Jobs, because we don't have jobs, and we don't have jobs because many economic sectors are not probably being able to absorb the people. We have many problems. But the primary problem is the fact that if we don't start thinking about the way our climate is changing, in 50 years, none of us might exist. In any way, people like me won't exist because we'll be dead. Okay, we're all senior citizens already. But all of you are young. The next 50 years are the crucial years of your life. Already you are facing heat waves that prevent you from working almost 3 months in the year. Everybody doesn't have their whole household with air conditioning, right? What about those who don't have any air conditioning? And do you know that the worst part is that the hot nights are worse than even hot days? There are many things we don't know because they're not taught in our colleges, in our programs. But mark it, this is the most urgent problem, issue, danger, call it what you will. This is the most biggest issue you people will face in your life. And it will feed into every sector, every aspect of your lives. What jobs will there be in the future? When you graduate, 5 years from the time you graduate, how will the job scenario change? How will the resource scenario change? Will you have enough water? Can you actually go to work uh, in the kind of heat that is? Can you work in places which are not air conditioned? Can you work? Can you go to work when there is so much of urban flooding? What will happen when the heating that is happening across the globe shrinks the amount of food that we can grow for ourselves? The population is increasing, and because of drought, because of over high temperatures, food is reducing. Production is falling. Water, entire lakes are shrinking. I can talk, I can show you. I can take 3 hours and show you everything that is happening. But I don't need to do that because everything is out there at the tip of your finger, on your phone, and on your internet. You have to be interested enough to ask, what is my future going to look like? It's a different thing that your previous generations have created this problem for you. You will have to anyway handle it. Whoever creates, there's no point in assigning blame. You have to solve it because those guys who created the problem are not going to be around for you to tell them, okay, you better solve it. Right? My daughter will have to solve it, though I may have created the problem. I will simply finish my life and die and go. Right? The same applies to all of you. And that is why this is the least understood, least known topic, let's say, or subject currently in the world. How many of you know? Do you read the papers? Newspapers? How many of you read newspapers? Can you raise your hands? Do you know that what is the leading Odia newspaper? Sambad? Okay. Sambad is doing this movement. You know anything about that? What is it? Punascha Prithvi. Why has the leading newspaper of the state taken on this campaign, going to every district, every block in the state to talk to the people, not to stand on a stage and talk, but to talk to the people and find out what issues they are facing because of climate change? And finally, they have brought it together in a conference of 3 days. I think today was the third day, if I'm correct, or maybe the yesterday was the third day, trying to get political people, the officers, the bureaucrats, to think about how we should do things differently in Odisha. Okay. It's not an issue that only affects Odisha, right? It affects the whole world. But here is a leading newspaper trying to build awareness. Why? Because they think it is the most pressing problem, and they can't be a newspaper unless they're talking about the most important thing in the news. Right? And they said we are making a pledge that we will continue with this effort for the next 12-15 years, till every person in this state is aware of what is facing them. So, as a school, what can we do? There's not much we can do. We are not a newspaper, we are not a TV channel. But we are in education, and you are all studying. Here is a chance for us to make you aware of what is really happening in the world and what are the real challenges and how you could think of joining. It could be you're studying biology. You could think of working in a field like biotechnology where you develop organisms. Yesterday, one of my students was talking about it. Develop organisms that actually eat up pollution, eat plastics, so that there's no plastic pollution. You could, if you're an engineer, you could think of how do we manage our water supply system so that it can be sustainable, that we don't deplete the groundwater. If you're a historian also, you could think of writing how people have decimated the earth in a way that climate change is happening. Every person from any field can actually contribute. But we simply don't know what to contribute to. What is the issue? Therefore, XIM University decided that as a thrust area, we will look at what is happening in the urban space, what is happening in the environmental space, and why, how we can prepare people to look at these issues, to work towards resolving their issues. If you are a IT engineer, for example, every aspect of this requires digital application so that we can work. We have AI now. We have the internet, we have big data, we have lot of stuff. We can do much more than our previous generations could do. But you have to know about it, right? Take your final year project to do something that will help in the climate change issues. And to come back to how you can, where is the task the largest? Do you know that if you have to make the world sustainable, you have to make our cities sustainable? The major issue that we are facing today is because of the way we have built our cities and towns. Globally, not just in India or in Odisha. 200 years of the way our cities are is what has caused this. So if we want solutions, it has to be in the cities. We have to change the way that our cities are. We have to change the way we are doing things, the way we are making buildings, the way we, the kind of transportation we have, the kind of water supply systems we have, how we manage our waste, everything. Urbanization has been the cause of this issue. Therefore, it is the solution. You have to change things completely. But of course, we can't go back to the rural past, go and stay in the villages, live in kacha houses. We're not saying that we have to roll back. But what are the new ways to do this while maintaining our standards of living? There are ways to do it. It's not rocket science. It's very simple, actually, if you think about it. But it's up to you to think about it and to develop new ways, innovations. That is where Unnovations comes from. Let me show you just 3-4 maps. I'm not going to. The UN Secretary General said this, the battle for sustainability, global sustainability, everybody's sustainability depends on making cities sustainable. This is a reality. I'm not talking just because we are the School of Human Settlements. We are the School of Human Settlements because we realized this. Because XIM University realized that unless we do something about our cities, there is no point in talking about, saving our forest, doing this. You can't save your forest unless you stop the demand for timber and wood and paper in the cities. You can't stop plastic pollution unless you stop the demand for plastic bags of chips or whatever. You can't stop food issues unless you think about not wanting a tomato in July. Tomatoes are there in the winter. But you must cook a tomato in July, you must eat a tomato in July. You have to think about these things. It's the cities. Let me just tell you why cities are an issue. They consume 70% of global energy, and you know that the energy consumption needs has been one of the primary contribution to carbon emissions because we use a lot of thermal power. Globally, we use a lot of thermal power. In India also, we use a lot of thermal power. We consume 71% of the water, fresh water. We consume 65% of all other natural resources, the forest, the food, the minerals, all of it comes to the cities. We consume 70% of the food. Meaning, you know how many people live in urban areas globally? Just over 50%, 52, 53%, 55% maybe today. But in India, it's still in the 30s. But imagine even if 50% 50% of the population is consuming 70% of the food. Are we all Rakshas? What are we doing? Where? Because we're wasting food. We're wasting food. We are looking for food which is highly refined, so all the waste also goes. So atta has to be refined to make maida, which will make cakes or pizza. And that extra thing that is taken out from atta is waste. Whereas it's bad for your health to have maida. But in cities, we still value this. Right? Now, if 70%, meaning 2/3 of the issues are because of cities, unless you change these 2/3, there's no point in working only in the 1/3. How our industries are, how plastic pollution is affecting, how uh, uh, this forests are being depleted. All of those are important. Don't think I'm saying they're not important. They also have to be addressed. But first, you have to think about how to change the way our cities are so that you can also address that. Okay. We also pollute more. 80% of the greenhouse gas emissions, you know greenhouse gases, right? All of you, I'm sure, do. 80% is from the cities. 65% of the water pollution, including the plastic pollution, is from cities. And you know this picture at the bottom, what it is? Sorry? No, it's a plastic island in the Pacific. That's an island you can drive a car on. All the plastics that are thrown in the oceans, because of the currents, they have all accumulated in one place. The island is larger than Madagascar. You know Madagascar is an island, right? This island, which is like land, is solely of plastics and is growing bigger and bigger till it will become the size of Australia. Imagine what we are doing. The same island. You can actually build a house on this and live. Not only is this the problem, that 2/3, 3/4 of the issues are because of the way our cities are and what we are building our cities with, how we are running our cities and how we are living in our cities, but also because cities are growing. In the next 20 years, the urban population in India will grow by almost 80%, almost double. Let's say in 30 years it will double. Look at the dark maroon spots. Where is it concentrated? Most of the urban growth in the next 30 years is going to happen in Asia and Africa. And within Asia, it is happening mostly in India, not even China. We are going to have greater urban growth than in China also. So imagine, cities are already the problem and they are going to become double. Think what you are facing in the future. Tell me honestly, how many of you have even given a thought to the climate change issues, environmental issues? I'm sure because many young people I talk to are conscious. How many of you have paid any attention to it? Can raise your hands? I'm only seeing 1 or 2 hands. That's surprising. Many of the people I talk to, not just in the college or the university, but even my family or outside, many of them are concerned. This Punashya Prithvi conference, students were across the hall, and whenever I talked to them, they were so concerned. I think we need more students to be concerned, more youth to be concerned. And this is not for anybody else, it is for you. You know something called the Sustainability Development Goals. Globally, the UN has, United Nations has formulated these 17 goals that we have to meet if we want the world to continue. It's as simple as that. If we don't want global collapse. Okay. Out of that, one is sustainable cities and communities, SDG 11. But do you know what is very special about SDG 11? SDG 11 is connected to every other SDG, meaning you cannot achieve the other 16 goals unless you achieve SDG 11. Look at how they are connected. Every other 16 goals. There are targets for each of these goals, and out of the 170 targets, almost 70 are related to cities. Do you see how crucial it is that we start thinking about this? You know, for a long time in this country, we've been talking about rural development because 60-70% of the people lived there and our food was coming from there. Those days are gone. In the last 30 years, the scenario has changed completely. In this millennium, the scenario has changed. 70% of the people are not in the villages anymore. Less than 50% are going to be in the village in the next 10 years, this decade. Most of the people are going to be in the cities, but more people coming to cities meaning doubling the issues. More consumption of resources, more consumption of food, more water needed, more pollution, more greenhouse gas emission. So you have to consider what and where the world is going. Now, if the world is not going to be as it was when your parents grew up or when you were studying in school and things have changed, imagine the next 10 years, how the world will change. Let's say we are going to renewable energy, right? Instead of thermal energy or any dirty energy as we call it, oil, coal. Then those of you who are working in any industry connected to those will no longer have jobs. But those who are in industries connected to renewable energy, the number of jobs there are going to grow. It's not enough to study. You are studying because you want a livelihood, you want a career, you want a job. You must know where the jobs are going to be there. Green jobs, as they are called, are the way of the future. Are you even aware which are the green jobs and which are the gray or brown jobs, which are the old jobs? Have you done this research? It's all on the net. I have not done this research. People have done the research. All we do is to bring it together. That is why we have this event, to bring your attention, to make you aware, to help to spur you to think about these issues. The last point I want to make. There is a group of global scientists, the best scientists in the world, they call the International Panel for Climate Change. Every year they come up with a report, every 2 years, on something. Last report they came up in 23. They told us what is going to happen to different places in the world if our temperature rises by 1 degree or 2 degrees or 3 degrees. India is one of the places which is going to be most affected, and particularly coastal, eastern coast of India. We all live there. Okay. There are other scientists who are working on what are called the planetary boundaries. What are planetary boundaries? They have thought that there are 9 systems. It could be the forest systems, it could be the ocean systems, it could be the atmosphere and the greenhouse gas emissions, it could be food systems. There are 9 systems that keep us alive and well. Keep the planet in a shape that we can still continue to exist. And we have set how much can we abuse these? How much can we pollute these? How much can we deplete these before there is total collapse? So that's why they're called boundaries. What is the boundary? And those scientists tell us that of the 9 Earth system boundaries, 6 or 7 are already crossed. We are in the danger zone. Look at the red. Climate change, land system change, biospheric integrity, all the red ones. Some things are still yet to go into the red zone, they're still in the green zone. We still have a chance. But they're rapidly, this is a 2023 a picture, I think, so already one more year has passed. And the thing about these systems are they're all interrelated. You don't know whether collapse will occur after 7 systems are breached or 8 systems are breached or all 9 systems are breached. That's how the ecosystems work, how the earth systems work. So we are literally at the 9th or whatever, 11th hour to midnight. And I'm not just trying to scare you. Please understand, these do happen in time frames of 20 years, 30 years. It's not going to happen overnight, hopefully. But you're already facing the issues. We don't have much time. I would urge you to start doing some research. Whenever you're traveling, you're looking at you're Googling all kinds of other things, your Instagram, your Reels, your other things. Look for these issues and sometime think about it. Your jobs are at stake later. What jobs can you take so that you will be sustainable yourself? Where is the new areas opening up? What can you do, whichever job you have, what can you do to change the situation? This is why we hope to spur, this is why we hold the innovations, to help you think about it. So if you notice that the themes for the various competitions are all urban themes. Why? It's a way to channel your thoughts in that direction. Okay. So please, with this background, do use this one day to start thinking about these issues, but don't stop thinking if you win a prize in a competition and then go home. Please keep thinking. Many of you will go for a further study. There are a number of disciplines that are opening up which are looking at these issues. Think about if you want to go for higher study, where you should go. I was teaching architecture before. And back in the 90s, you were not born, right? Back in the 90s, we started a course called Sustainable Design, first one in India. Today, those people are leading across the globe in terms of software development, in terms of green design, in terms of new ways or new materials. 30 years ago, I was teaching those students. So you have to learn to look forward. Don't look back. My elder brother did engineering and MBA, so I should also do. My father is a consultant, so I also want to be a management consultant. Don't think like that. Do that, but in which area, on which topic? Think about that. You want to study computers? Of course, that's the way the world is going. But in which area are you thinking of the applications? What kind of software do you want to work on? Do you want to? You have to ask one question. I always tell my students also and others when I'm called to talk anywhere. At Punashya Prithvi also I said that. Do you want to take a job which adds another 1 crore to somebody who already has 2 lakh crores in their pocket? Or do you want to take a job that will make your life better and everybody else's life, everybody else that you care for, their lives better tomorrow? Think about that. Do you want to study a subject which is eventually going to, benefit everybody or benefit the few people who are accumulating wealth? All the wealth will not help them. When the world collapses, nothing is going to help them. They think that they can take a spacecraft and go to and stay in Mars. I don't think that is possible. You should all see one very nice movie. It's called Don't Look Up. It's there on the net. It was an Oscar winning movie. Fantastic take on this issue. It's a feature film. You'll enjoy it. See it. There are many such, but I just saw it recently, so I'm remembering, and this is one of the best takes I've found. So with this, I will end. The point was not to do a bhashan. The point was to make you aware, okay, to make you think. If I can prompt even 20% of you to think about this, I think the school and our students and our faculty have done a wonderful job. And to end, I would like to thank them all for this extensive organizing effort they have done to reach out to all of you. 30 colleges, more than 200, 250 students are joining in this Unnovations. We started with 40 students and 3-4 colleges in Bhubaneswar 7-8 years ago. Every year when we do this now, more and more people are joining. And this year they have done an extensive organizing effort, mobilization effort. And if among those people 20% can think about this, I think our work is done. So thank you all on behalf of the school. I thank the organizing team, the faculty, particularly the second year students. You know, you are probably the first second year batch which has put in so much into this event. Usually second year students, they're on the verge of graduating and they have too many tasks, projects, capstone, all of that to think about. But this batch, I must appreciate their effort particularly. And therefore it shows in the organizing. And thank you all for taking the time to come and joining in this effort. And anytime any of you want to know more, all you have to do is to reach out to us, organize an online Zoom meeting, and we will tell you much more about this field, much more about what is happening. Many engineering colleges actually reach out and ask for seminars for their students, and we do that. If any of you are interested, just give us a call. We'll spare 2 hours to organize that and talk to you online. We don't want you to always come, and we also can't make you come or organize this for you. But feel free. Every college can reach out. Okay. So thank you all again for being here. Enjoy the day, enjoy the competitions, have fun. The point is not to have a long face or to think it's doomsday. It's a chance to get spirited, creative, and do things in the spirit of doing good, but enjoying yourself also. Okay? So all the best for the day, and hope all of you do your best, even though you may or may not win a prize. That's not the point. It's the doing your best and having fun which is important. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your vision is the perfect way to start our day of creativity and competition. I would now like to request Professor Annam Saikaran sir to present a note of appreciation to all our participants and our sponsors.
Thank you, Pratisha. A very good morning to all the members on the dais and everyone present here. Innovations, organized annually by HabituX, is a festival of innovative ideas for students across the country to learn and ideate on ways to meet urban sustainability challenges through a variety of academic and cultural competitions. This year, we are having participants from over 30 colleges and universities across the country, competing in both online and offline events. We are having events such as Dream City, Mayor's Discourse, Quizzite, and various cultural events such as dance performances in rhythm. And we are also having creative contests such as photography in Shutterbug, face painting in competition, Face It On, etc. I would also like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Father Anthony R. Uvari, SJ, our Registrar, Father S. Anthony Raj, SJ, our Chief Finance Officer, Father Arokya Das, SJ, and the Administrator of New Campus, Father George Fernandez, SJ, for their continuous support and encouragement. I would especially like to thank Professor Kajri Mishra, Dean of School of Human Settlements, for our guidance. I would also like to thank my fellow faculty coordinators, Professor Thiali Bose and Professor Shraddha Kumar for their support in organizing this event. My sincere thanks to residence management team, the IT department, and the student executive council for their vital support throughout the preparations. A special thanks goes to the HabituX core and shadow members for their hard work and dedication in organizing this event. I would also like to thank all the students of School of Human Settlements, my fellow faculty members, and non-academic staff of XIM University for their continuous support. Additionally, I would like to extend my appreciation for our food sponsor, Krishna Kunj, and our media partners, the Times of India, Odisha Interview Times, Odisha Bata, and Inside Out for their generous support. I hope the Innovations 24 will offer a rich and rewarding experience to all the participants. Thank you. And I would also like you to join other events in which you are not participating and gain knowledge from others as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Innovations is not just any fest. It's a day dedicated to urban ideas and solutions, filled with competitions, brainstorming sessions, and lots of fun activities. We have an action-packed day ahead, full of opportunities for you to shine and, of course, have a great time. We welcome you once again to Innovations 24, and may the best ideas win. Thank you, everybody. So before we begin with the events of the day, for anyone who has not grabbed their refreshments packet, I request everyone to gather